I looked at the possession stats sort of like 30, 40 minutes in. United had more of the ball.
I think by the end of the half, I think United had 61% possession in the first half, but Arsenal had the chances. But then the second half, it was role reversed. Arsenal had more possession, but United had the chances.
Yeah, and that was clearly an intentional thing by Arsenal, because if Arsenal wanted to, they obviously could have dominated the possession at home. But it's almost like, because we all knew what the state of play was going to be. We all knew what United wanted to do. Or, the only thing they could do really, a counter-attack, utilise Rashford and his pace. So I'm guessing that Arteta's thinking was, well, I'm going to try to limit that as much as possible, and I'm almost going to, not allow United to dominate the possession, but it doesn't really matter if United have the ball for a lot of time. But what's quite funny is that they did all that to try to stop this counter-attack from happening. And yet that's exactly how United opening the scoring.
From a gift. You basically, the only way United were going to score is if they basically just gifted it. And that's what they did. And it was exactly the same for the disallowed goal. It was gifted to them. It was a beautiful touch from Højlund and then passing for own goal. But United have always been able to do that under whatever manager's in charge. Just counter-attacks is deadly.
And then just rounding off the goals before we then talk about the overall play. How frustrated are you, as a United fan, that both Arsenal goals, realistically, both of them were caused? I'm not including the Jesus one for now, just because it's not really relevant.
That was just end of play.
Exactly,
throw players forward. You might as well lose 3-1 and 2-1.
Yeah, so in terms of like the two goals which mattered, as a United fan, especially you've just scored a really good goal, a gift, as you say. How frustrating is it that you've seen your players on 2 occasions just not close down the shot? What's that all about?
That's what I mean. That's what frustrates me. It frustrates me that every game this season I've seen it. As soon as a team turn up the tempo, they don't have there's no one in that team, no one in that midfield who can close the gap. And that's why Amrabat has been signed, because, Eriksen doesn't have the legs, Casemiro doesn't have the legs. They don't have the legs to go and close these gaps and get back in position. That's what they need. And all they did was just literally do a pass and move quickly, and the space opened up for Amrabat, and it was not Amrabat, but Odegaard, and it was like a penalty. It was just like, right, okay, keeper, you save it now, please, rather than go and slide in front of it. And that was what I got completely confused by. Yeah,
it's really weird. It's the Rice one in particular for me. It's like, it's the 95th minute or whatever. I know, Maguire and Evans on the pitch, whatever, but I need my centre half to put their body on the line and get in the way of that.
For me, the centre half, it was whoever's on the near post, because Evans and bloody, what's his name, Gabriel were having a bloody wrestling match or something. Like they were both grabbing each other. I think it was them grabbing each other, and then Evans was trying to get past him, and he weren't letting him past. And whoever was on the near post just stood there. So he's in Onana's way to start with, and he should go fly in front of it. Then if it takes a deflection because you tried to block it, it is what it is. But the fact you haven't moved has made it worse for Onana to start with. Yeah, and it's just a story of the last year. It's just close it down.
And that's quite basic as well, isn't it? That's not even like a tactical thing. That's just like, do your basic defending duties.
But it's the same. But for me, it's the same players that do it. It's the same. Like last week, there was that clip of Bruno going around where he's just throwing his body at every single half chance he can get to get the ball, and he started a counter attack. But then you've got players like Delo will do it. He'll go and put a slide tackle in and go and press a player. But then that's I think it might be Wan-Bissaka on that near post. He just doesn't do it. He's like, he'll go and put his leg in to stop a wing getting past. But anything other than that, he just doesn't bother. He just stands about. And I was saying constantly, this is the problem, like they're not good at man marking, and they can't be trusted to man mark. They have to zonal mark, and it doesn't work. And all they have to do is play a corner to the back post, because they're not marking anyone. They're just stood there. So, and it wasn't even like, Rice controlled it and shot. He literally had to jump backwards, and it took him, it must have felt like a minute for him to control it.
I watched that in slow motion.
Exactly. It was like, he was genuinely for ages before he hit that shot. So honestly, but I guess if I'm going to look positively about it all, the players that are coming into the team and the players that are there's a bit more oomph about them. Like, I thought Højlund was brilliant when he came on.
Yes.
An actual number 9 playing for United, who's, just as soon as he came on, he just bullied Gabriel. He bullied him as much as he can and just got in his way, and even created that second, that disallowed goal.
Yeah, that flick was lovely.
That flick was beautiful, and he shows what he's capable of doing, but the rest of them need to do that as well. You can't just bully them up top and push them around, and then you've just got the others being half-assed. So that's why Amrabat will come in as well, and he'll throw his body in front of it, and he'll start, giving players a nudge and things like that, which is great to see. But it's the players that have been there for ages that feel like they've got a free pass in playing. Like, no one's going to replace me, So it's just an issue, and it just seems to be. I'm not gonna start doing what everyone else does and go, "Oh, blame the owners and stuff." But if I'll always compare the way a club comes back from being in difficulty to the way Arsenal let Arteta do his job. They've got a sporting director in, and they've let him dismantle the team and build the team. Ten Hag's been allowed to replace positions and get replacements in, but the fact they haven't let McTominay go, the fact that they couldn't get Maguire out the door to get him other players in, Maguire and Johnny Evans finished on the pitch for United.
Yeah, in 2023.
Right? That is ridiculous, and that's not down to the manager. That's down to the club. Because he should have gone. He should have brought Todibo in, who he wanted, and he would have had that option. And he ended up with Maguire and Evans because he'd had to get Evans in as cover because you don't know if Varane's going to be fit or not. And he obviously doesn't want to play Maguire. So they're the options he's got. And that's what he's been left with.
Yeah, definitely. And just on those injuries, we'll talk about the Arsenal angle in a moment, but let's just focus on the United one for now. I've watched all of United games so far this season. I thought that maybe, especially given the context of the injury issues, like, there not being any Varane, Højlund not being fully fit to start, like fit enough to start, Dalot having to play left back. It's one of the better performances I've seen from United this season. So does that give you hope?
Yeah, no, it was tactically the best performance, and I felt the second half was. I think after Højlund came on, I felt like. There was a striker there who was bullying defenders, and it felt like he was giving everyone else the oomph. Even that little grab that Casemiro gave him, he knew what he was doing, what he was bringing to the game. He was like, keep doing that, and it seemed to egg everyone else on, rather than a half-assed jump from Martial to try and win. So he's like, what's the point then? He's not going to win that. Whereas if you've got a striker there who's going to start, bodying defenders and stuff, then they give everyone else a bit of a kick. It didn't even take long for Bruno to realise he's going to win that. I'm going to go and run past him. He's going to lay me off. And that's within 10 minutes of him playing. So it's a good sign, and it shows Ten Hag knows what he needs for that team. But the problem is he's not getting it. He should have had Amrabat 2 months ago. I think the whole Højlund situation is just unlucky that he was injured. But the Amrabat one's the prime example. He needs a midfielder like that. But it took him 2 months to get him in. And that's example of just how poorly run the club is. Yeah,
Højlund came on, looked good. As you say, lovely little deft flick for the not goal, as it turned out, the finest of margins. It was just one moment, and it sort of made me have a sort of a thought of, it's like I don't know if you know the bit I'm about to talk about. Rashford had the ball on the left. Was this the one when it was the counter and Højlund was charging? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The problem with that is, why did he slow down?
Well, exactly.
Go at full pace. The defender's backing up. You run at him and go past him. As soon as he stopped, I felt that pass ain't coming now because he stopped and he's killed the pace. Then they're going to run offside. He keep running. If that was Saka on the other side, he'd keep moving and he'd get in the box and make the defender make a decision, which is what obviously the Havertz situation happened because he was in the box and he made the ref make a decision. He should have just carried on, just pelting it forward at I think it was Saliba, and just make him put a foot in, or try and go around him, or try and get found side and cross it with your left.
Yeah. But or try to find Højlund's run with a pass.
But then I think it was after or before, I can't remember. He did it against Ben White. He went round the outside of Ben White and put a pass into the box. That's what he needs to do. He needs to just charge at him. But stopping, he's just you've just killed the whole momentum they've got. Yeah. So that again, it's just poor decision making as well. It's just, but they haven't attacked enough because they've not had the players to let to open the game up for themselves. So I feel like having a good, now they've got it feels like they've got a proper number 9, obviously early days yet, will hopefully open up more opportunities.
Yeah, well, and I guess that's my overall question, is that Rashford is basically a striker playing on the left. He's not like a.
He's built like a centre forward. He's not a.
Yeah, he's not a Grealish, is he? Who is like an actual, a creative winger. Rashford is basically. He's more like a Salah.
He's kind of like Son as well. Yeah, like Salah and Son.
Or Son.
Players,
yeah, exactly.
They're not built like wingers. Either they're built like strikers, but play out wide.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that in mind, do you have faith that it will work with Rashford next to a proper actual out and out number 9, rather than, for example, with like a Son, he had Harry Kane, who's more of a creative forward. Salah has got more someone like Firmino, who's like, false nine sort of player.
I think having a striker who can hold the ball up and who can basically connect with Bruno like they did, where he can lay it off to him and he can kind of hold the ball up and then give it him and then go and create stuff. Because I think what I hope it'll do is, even though Højlund might not score a lot, it might open chances for Rashford and whoever's going to be on the right to create them chances. So, which is basically what happened at Liverpool, didn't it? Firmino didn't score a lot. It was Salah and Mane that were getting the goals.
Yeah.
So I can see that kind of idea coming, but we didn't need a fully fit squad.